Earlier this year, I was invited by an Indian wildlife expert to look for the largest big cat in the world, the Bengal tiger, and to explore Kanha National Park in the most authentic possible way. I was blown away by all the tigers that we saw, but nothing could have prepared me for everything else this incredible jungle revealed. Wow, what a nice surprise. Welcome to Kanha National Park. My host in India was none other than wildlife presenter and filmmaker Suyash Keshari, who's also a professional safari guide and founder of Ameliya Safaris. Joining us in Kanha was his wife Tani and one of Ameliya's safari directors, Sujatru Bhattacharya. Between them, they made sure that my journey to Kanha was smooth and seamless, with a relaxing overnight stay in Delhi and a comfortable drive to our home for the next 4 nights, Bagh Villas. This eco-friendly boutique jungle camp is located on the periphery of the park, and my tented suite had all the modern comforts I've come to expect from luxury lodges in Africa. An exquisite bathroom, a spacious bedroom with an enormous bed, and a coffee station. To top it off, I was welcomed with generous and thoughtful welcome gifts from Ameliya Safaris. Kanha National Park is located in Madhya Pradesh, a lush and wildlife-rich state in the heart of India. At its core lies a protected wilderness of about 94,000 hectares, a breathtaking landscape of towering sal forests, rolling meadows, and dense bamboo thickets. This core area is divided into 4 zones: Kanha, Sari, Kisli, and Mukhi, and tourism is tightly regulated with only a limited number of gypsies allowed in each. These nimble little open vehicles are perfectly suited to navigate the jungle, giving visitors an immersive safari experience. I'm so excited because this is our first safari here in Kanha National Park, and this morning we'll be entering the Mukhi zone. Now it's mid-June, so the monsoons are just about to arrive, and by the end of the month the park will actually be closed. It's hot, it's humid, and we might even get wet today, but let's head out there and let's go see whether we can find some tigers. I hadn't been on safari in India for over 5 years, and this was my first time in Kanha. So I listened intently as Sujatru and Suyash shared their insights into the biodiversity of the national park, and more importantly, on how they go about finding tigers here. I absolutely love the anticipation of a first safari, being in a new place and obviously knowing that there could be a tiger around any corner. And the wonderful thing today is I'm absolutely surrounded by experts. Every single person here knows this place and knows the wildlife so well, so I'm in good hands. Not long into our drive, we had a very special first sighting, a peacock in full display. That's the amazing thing for me about India. It really is a bucket list trip, and I've dreamt about seeing a peacock like this displaying for so long, and to actually see it here. I mean, I've seen pictures of this since I was a small boy. What a privilege. I just love the sounds. Just around the corner, we stopped at one of Mukhi Zone's most productive waterholes. Doesn't matter whether you're sitting in the plains of Africa or the jungles of India, there's always life around the waterholes. So we've stopped because we've heard some langu monkeys giving alarm calls. And Suyash just said that they may have spotted a tiger. So we're just going to sit tight for a moment and see whether we can see what they're seeing. Knowing the different alarm calls can help you figure out what upset the monkeys in the first place.
So with the tigers, the monkey do these alarm calls, but with the leopards, they're more frantic. And there'll be two monkeys calling. One, of course, making this that sound, but with the leopards also, because of course, the leopards can easily climb up trees, and that's when the monkeys are all just looking at that leopard and going absolute helter-skelter.
So you think in this case it was a tiger that walked by?
Definitely it's a tiger, because all of them are looking this way, and we're going to go around and check as well. But all of them are looking this way. Maybe the tiger's already passed through here, and one of them, which is probably the alpha, is just like letting his troop know, be careful, don't go down.
We drove in the direction that the monkeys were facing, looking for fresh signs of tiger activity.
These trails, like in front of me, what we call them game trail or pagdandis in Hindi, and these are the pagdandis that we have to always come here. So we came from the main road, came all the way to here because there's a common crossing point, and if anything comes out, it's going to usually use this route, you see, going straight and kind of winding this way.
It was amazing to see the Ameliya team in action, and before long we struck gold. It was our first tiger in Kanha National Park, an enormous male called Nila Nala. Despite there being other vehicles at the sighting, we had quite a few opportunities to see him clearly. I was particularly impressed with just how much space the guides gave the tiger when he stepped into the road. Wow, what an amazing first morning here in Kanha National Park. Not only did we see amazing general game like those chital deer and the monkeys and the gore, but a big male tiger on our first drive, very, very special. We've come here to the picnic site in the Mukhi zone. It's a place where you can not only have your breakfast but also use the restroom, and there's only one spot like this per zone, so you've obviously got to time it well. Make sure you don't drink too much coffee early in the morning, otherwise your bladders are going to burst. But yeah, like I said, very, very special first drive here in Kanha National Park. So Yash, I'm going to put you on the spot. What do you like about the Mukhi zone specifically, and why did you book this zone months in advance?
Yeah. So, in India, you have to book 4 months in advance because tickets are limited and only a certain number of people can go into one specific zones. So of the 4 zones, Mukhi is one of the largest ones, but also it has incredible movements of tigers. There are 12 different tigers moving in this zone, and also from the other zone, sometimes other ones come through here as well. It's really beautiful because it's a mix of different habitats. You've got rocky areas, you've got beautiful grasslands and massive forests like this. And one of my favorite spots is this one because you can come out, have an amazing breakfast here in the middle of the jungles.
Breakfast sounds about right now.
You gotta wash your hands.
The breakfast spread packed by Bagh Villas was large and tasty, and it was about time for a fresh cup of coffee. Oh, coffee time. Thank you so much, Sean. Good timing. With full bellies and caffeine in our veins, we continued our safari in the Mukhi zone. One of the advantages of coming to Kanha in mid-June, so close to the monsoons, is that it's a bit cooler than in March, April and May, which can get very hot and dry. This means that the animals often stay active for a little bit longer in the mornings. Wow, what a nice surprise. We just finished our breakfast. It's already 10:15 and we come around the corner, and in this little open patch is a jungle cat, something that you don't see very often. And it just shows you Mother Nature can surprise you when you least expect it. And just when we thought we had used up all our luck, we spotted a pack of dhole, Indian wild dogs. The sighting was brief and very far away, but it was the first time in my life to see these magnificent creatures. The short drive back to camp gave me some time to reflect on just how much we had seen and experienced on our very first game drive in Kanha National Park. Back at Bagh Villas, I used the opportunity to explore the camp a little bit more before sitting down for a delicious lunch. But before I knew it, we were ready to head back into the park again. We are back here at the gate for our second safari in Kanha National Park, and as you can see, we are going to enter into the Mookie zone again. Now, something that I love about Suyash and Ameliya Safaris is that the guides want us to get here nice and early, because what that means is you can get into the park first. That means less dust and a better chance of bumping into a tiger on the road. Let's get going. At some stage, we got word that a tigress had been spotted close by, but as we made our way there, we bumped into another female called DJ. It's so funny, I was just joking with Suyash that sometimes when you drive from one place and following up on a tiger sighting, that maybe you'll bump into another one. And he said, nah, happens very, very seldom. And what happens? We bump into DJ lying in the water. How unbelievable is that?
Incredible. Absolutely incredible.
She didn't look in any rush to move, so we decided to quickly check in on the other tigress we had heard about originally, her daughter, DJ9. We briefly saw her resting on the side of the road, but she didn't hang around for long. Back at the waterhole, her mother was on the move. Less than 10 minutes after DJ disappeared into the jungle, we bumped into one of the weirdest looking and impressive animals I've ever seen, a colossal Gaur bull. It's hard to believe, but a large male like this can weigh up to 1,500 kilograms. He wasn't the only large male we spotted that afternoon.
This is amazing. We found our second tiger this afternoon in the water, and guess what? It's Nila Nala, the big male, and he's not far from where we left him this morning. That's 3 tigers today. Nila Nala, DJ, and her cub, DJ9. Here comes the rain.
That is day 1 done and dusted here in Kanha National Park. And can you believe we saw 3 different tigers and all those other species as well. I'm just absolutely in love with this jungle. Now, it's raining at the moment, and my guides are both in agreement that if it keeps raining tonight, we stand a very good chance of seeing more tigers tomorrow because they might all be out marking their territories. And it'll settle the dust a little bit as well, which will definitely help. We have been treated like absolute royalty here at the Bagh Villas. The food has been so delicious, the room is so comfortable, and I'm sitting on the most comfortable bed in the whole world. Speaking of which, I need a good night's rest because it has been a very long day, so I'll see you early tomorrow morning when we'll be entering the Kanha zone. In order to get to the Kanha zone, we first had to drive through the Mukki zone, where early on we spotted a mongoose.
So there's a belief here, at least amongst the guides on our vehicle, that seeing a mongoose is good luck. And that happened yesterday. We saw a mongoose and then we saw our first tiger. And you can't believe it, this morning on our way to the Kanha zone, Ramkali, our guide, spots a mongoose crossing the road, and less than a minute later, we spot our first tiger. He's walked down to the waterhole now. Unfortunately, we can't see him over the tall grass, but we'll hang around for a few minutes just to see whether or not he comes back out.
Our guides were right. The tigers were indeed out and about this morning to patrol their territories after the rains. This was one of Nila Nala's rivals, the Patawale male. We watched as he scent marked all along the dam wall before disappearing behind it. From there, we headed into the breathtakingly beautiful Kanha zone. Wow, this is so beautiful.
We had such an amazing time in the Kanha zone this morning, and even though it didn't rain nearly as much as we thought it would overnight, our first sighting this morning was still a tiger. And the little bit of rain that did fall attracted thousands and thousands of butterflies. And we found them mud puddling along the little drainage lines, or nalas as they're called here, and they were just flying in their hundreds in the road in front of us. We also spent a lot of time admiring the scenery of the Kanha zone and spending time with general game like the langur monkeys, chital deer, and a new species for me, the black buck. And around every corner, there was a different bird species as well. Now, I'm sure you didn't know this, but you can actually go on a bushwalk here in India as well. And that's exactly what we're going to do this afternoon on the edge of Kanha National Park. And that's what I love about Ameliya Safaris. It's about more than just looking for tigers, but really about experiencing the jungle in the best possible way. I did, and you. I love this tour gun from camp. So we are going to be walking on the Bumni Nature Trail this afternoon, and it's actually in the Kappa buffer zone of Kanha National Park, which is right next to the Mukhi zone, one of the tourism zones where we've done 2 of our safaris. So technically speaking, we could actually bump into a tiger on foot.
All right, welcome to your nature walk here in Kanha National Park. This is called the Bumni Nature Trail and it's in the buffer area of Kanha. Today we're going to just be following this path straight down. This actually goes 13 kilometers in, but of course we're not going to do a walk that long because it's in the evening time. We're going to take it nice and slow, see what we find. The idea is to really, now we're off the vehicle, look for smaller things, birds, butterflies, look at the trees and just be in nature. Maybe we find some bones, maybe we find some tracks. Always keep in mind, stay in a single line, listen to me, and if any animal that you see, let us handle the situation. Here in India, you're not allowed to carry firearms, but there is also no danger. All animals are actually scared of humans on foot, so they're just gonna run away. And we're gonna always make sure that we have a lot of distance. So everyone excited?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. So what we have here is actually a deer antler, and you see this is quite a big guy, but usually it takes anywhere between 6 and 10 months for a male's antler to grow all the way up to here. Females, of course, don't have antlers. And then of course around about 8 or 12 months they shed it again only to grow it back. And when it grows back, it's nice and covered in velvet. It looks very beautiful, it protects the new antlers, and then over time they of course use their velvet or lose their velvet and they start fighting with each other. So if that goes through you, it can definitely impale you.
Along the way, I learnt about the jungle trees, plants, flowers and fruits. Sweet.
It's like jelly, the sticky thing.
And about the different signs the animals leave behind, including tracks and scat.
So these are actually very old droppings made by wild dogs. We have wild dogs in India, of course. We saw them, the red hunting dogs. We call them dholes. But they probably passed through here and of course did their droppings. What's really funny is when wild dogs actually are peeing or marking their territory, they actually get up on their front 2 legs and then they of course urinate, and it looks very, very funny. I don't think any other species does it besides our Indian wild dogs.
Man, this is so pretty. Wow.
So welcome to the Banja River. This is the main river in Kanha National Park, and this river essentially divides the buffer zone from core zone. What happens in India is all the national parks and tiger reserves have two designated areas. The core is the center of the park where no human activity is permitted besides tourism, and even then only 20% of the core is open for tourism. But in the buffer, limited human activity is permitted, such as people on foot, mostly villagers or tourists on walking safaris. They can come in, the villagers can come in, collect fallen trees, fallen logs or berries and fruits, but they can't do that inside the core zones. What's also interesting is you're allowed to graze your own cattle in the buffer areas, and if a tiger or a leopard kills your cattle, you get compensated for it. But if your cattle goes into the core area, you do not get any compensation because your cattle should not have been there in the first place. But you know, some cattle stray on, and that's where retribution killings happen, because for a farmer it's still a loss, for a livestock herder it's still a loss. But it's great to, you know, on the other side, just do this activity, get off the vehicle and see things from a closer perspective.
We've come to this incredible viewing deck made for tourists to enjoy this trail and to obviously get a bird's eye view of the river. Very, very nice. Wow, what a view. That is absolutely amazing. And to think we're actually looking at the Muki zone where we've seen so many different tigers. Someone just spotted a gore down in the riverbed. Let's go have a closer look. It's so nice to actually see some animals on foot. And at the moment, we're walking on what's called here Bagh Villas, or a game trail. And our guide Karan actually told us that a few months ago he was walking here with a couple and they actually bumped into a tiger not far from here, early in the morning. Luckily, when the tiger saw them, he just walked in a different direction. But man, it's exciting, it's so wild. This bushwalk has been so wonderful, not only because we walked along this beautiful river, but also because I got to stretch my legs a little bit. Tomorrow morning we're going to head back into the Kanha zone where we spent this morning. So the next time you'll see us is at the Muki gate. There we go, folks. As you can see, we got up bright and early again. So we're the second vehicle in the queue. We're back at the Muki gate and we're going to head through to the Kanha zone.
Today was our last day in Kanha National Park, and because we had seen so much already, we decided not to chase after tigers this morning, but rather to enjoy the scenery and the other creatures you often overlook when you only focus on big cats. Later that afternoon in the Muki zone, we had our final and best tiger sighting of the whole safari. It was DJ 9 again, resting in a waterhole. Experiencing Kanha National Park with Suyash and the rest of the Ameliya Safaris team was a joy. I was so impressed with how they ran the safari. Everything from the transfers, food and accommodation to the vehicle, tracking and guiding was top-notch. But what I loved most was how they made me feel part of the Ameliya family. And luckily for me, we were only halfway through the trip. The next stop was Suyash's backyard, Bagh National Park. If you have any questions about Kanha National Park, please feel free to ask in the comments down below and visit the Ameliya Safaris website to learn more about their safaris. I'd also like to give a massive thank you to all my patrons from all over the world. Without your monthly donations, this trip to India would not have been possible. And if you're a first-time viewer and you enjoyed this video, leave a like, consider subscribing and show your support by following the Patreon link at the top of the video description. Patrons get rewards like behind-the-scenes footage, early access and mentions in my videos, like Simon Wakenshaw, who's my biggest supporter. Until next time.